All right, so let's kind of just recap everything we've learned so far. We went over the basics of command, what apps you can connect behind the scene, okay? Still, don't be afraid to connect and play around with that, all right? We then went over Kelly and how Kelly, even though there's not a lot of functionality, there are some things that you can still do in Kelly to help you, especially being a new agent, not maybe knowing an area. We went over showing time and the etiquette about being an agent, about responding, giving feedback, canceling your appointments if you're not making it. We then went over Paragon. And again, I preface this with that I'm not a certified Paragon trainer. I'm just going to show you some of the basics. Just like I'm not a certified CMA trainer, I'm going to just show you the basics. We then on Friday went over Realist and we went over RPR. So we spent some time looking up how to map out farming areas, how to look up those addresses, how to pull them. And we talked about the importance of creating tags and add them to our contact database. Okay, so tomorrow we'll kind of recap the contacts. Today, what I'm going to show you is in designs of a buyer's presentation and a seller's presentation. Because when you're starting to create CMAs for a seller, you're going to have a seller's presentation. It's not just about a packet of numbers. You need to sell yourself, sell the company, sell what you're offering. Okay. Buyer's presentation, if you've never done a buyer's presentation, it's really to help the buyer understand the process of buying a property. Okay. I'm going to show you how you can access both of them today. You have to go in and make it your own. All right. I cannot emphasize that enough. Make it your own. You're going to see in here in the designs how a listing presentation is 40 some pages. And I've narrowed mine down a lot. Okay. I've shortened it up. I've gone a lot shorter than what it needs to be because I emphasize during the listing presentation what I'm bringing to you as an agent, not so much as a number. Okay, this is how I work. This is how I'm going to sell your property and how I'm going to top dollar. Okay, so you need to know where those are at. You need to create those to have them ready for yourself. This will be part of the case study that you do on Friday. So you're going to start practicing them this week throughout the entire week. Okay, because at the end of the week, you will be presenting the case study in your little groups that you get assigned to. Okay. Don't stress out. There's no right or wrong answer with an actual listing presentation. You just want feedback on it of how to make it the best. Okay, so we're going to start in command today. If you have not played around in designs, and if you are not a creative person, that is okay. Designs has things templated for you automatically, so that all you have to do is plug in the information. Okay, so we're going to go to designs. I want you to click on designs. Again, command always runs slow when we are streaming, so I apologize. I have things created. I probably have to delete some of my templates. However, you're gonna, once you start creating things in designs, they'll always be saved here for you, just FYI, okay? But for this purpose, I'm gonna show you where to pull your buyer's presentation and sellers. So I want you to click on create a design, and I want you to click on print. Once this loads, you'll have a new menu on the left-hand side of the screen of what you're trying to do. Basically, are you doing a marketing for a listing? Are you doing a presentation? Things like that. But let me show you where we're going to pull the listing presentation. Designs, upper right-hand corner, create a design, and then PDF prints. Okay. If you click on listings, you can see it automatically populates for you a listing presentation. Okay. You click on the listing presentation, it's going to pull different templates that you can use. Please note, the information is the same. It's just a different style for the template. All right. So whichever one you gravitate towards, you use. All right. It could be this one, as simple as this. It could be this one that has photos. It's completely up to you. All right. For this purpose, I'm going to choose the classic 0001, classic 01, which is the last one. I'm just going to show you what it looks like.
You know, when I clicked it, it said error.
Refresh.
Yeah.
Okay. Every listing presentation, the first 2 pages are literally instructions. Okay. So it's hard to read on this screen. It might be hard to read on yours too, but it's just going to tell you what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. You can read it if you want to. You don't have to. But let me move this. This thing's in my way. You can see that this listing presentation, bottom right-hand corner, is 29 pages. I don't use 29 pages, just FYI. All right. You can, but I don't. All right. I don't use it at all. I think the most I've used now is 15. Okay. But this is the template, right? So if you decide to use this template, you can say, okay, I'm going to add this page by clicking the plus. I like that one. I'm going to do with that. And I can see what this one's about. I can see, maybe I actually won't use this one. I go right to this one. I like the overview of the property. I go right to it. I'm going to use the plus. I'm going to do the market snap. And the market snap, I will show you how to get this information just so that you realize where this comes from. It's a lot easier than than some people know. This is where I start deleting things. Comparable properties. I don't put in this listing presentation. On my comparable properties, I've pulled my own CMA that we're going to go over, and I pulled those properties there. I don't want to add it in here. Again, to me, listing presentation coming from Keller, this is how I, as your agent, going to sell your property. I'm going to focus on your property. Okay. I don't add that one.
So if you start to add and then you decide you don't want it, how do you get rid of it?
Very simple. So let me pull up pages. So if I click pages down here, let me go back to how I did that. You see where, yep, right down here where it says pages, and that's why I purposely added them because there's extra ones there. I can just say, oops, I don't want this one. I can click the 3 dots. I can delete it. Yes, I'm going to delete it. Yes, I'm going to delete the instructions because I don't need it. Okay. Simple as that. All right. And you can even save yourself time instead of adding things, you can just go through this way as well. This was the other aspect I was going to show you. You can just delete the slides automatically. So again, I'm not going to use, you might want to use this one, completely up to you. I'm not, just because I think it's redundant. Okay.
Is there a particular formula when designing? In other words, concentrate on certain.
You can do whatever you want with it. It's your listing presentation. It's your business. I can only give you best practices of what I've seen has worked. And what I have seen has worked going on listing presentations is I spend more time on this than I do the actual number of the property. Because by the time I get to discuss what we're going to sell your property for, they know how hard I'm going to work as an agent to sell the property. And 95% of the time I get the listing. I just lost out on one to a family friend. So I was up against that. But you know, what can you do? But every time I've gone with this listing presentation and I've used this is what's back on the table when I come back to pick up the information sheet of the property and make them do the detailed information of the property. This is what they refer to. And I've been told on multiple occasions, agents don't even come with a packet. You came with 2. You gave me extra information on what I needed and how you were going to work as the agent, not what we were just how we figured out a number. Because how we figured out a number is all the agents had the same information.
So basically,
there's no secret sauce to that.
Layouts are already created.
Already created for you.
You just pick and choose.
Pick and choose. Okay, so, and I can tell you, Amory, you've been an agent longer than me. I can tell you that your competition aren't bringing packets to every listing presentation. They have a number, which we have a number 2 in mind, but they're pretty much creating a CMA packet based off of numbers like through an RPR or through Paragon, which we're still going to do. This is just adding it, the extra secret. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Oh, yeah.
If they bring it.
If they bring it.
Right. If they bring it. Okay. So some cool things in here. When I update my listing presentation, I only update 2 pages every listing presentation. Okay. Everything else is the same. Nothing else is changing. So you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, this is taking me forever. It's like the song, the first cut's the deepest, right? It's the first one you do is going to take you the longest. That's why I want you to practice it this week. Okay. And the reason I want you to practice it this week is so we can give you feedback on Friday. All right. But this is one of the pages I update every time. I give them information, a little bit of information about the market. Okay. I verify the information is correct. All right. I make sure that going through this, and you're going to see what I'm going to do here, that the numbers look accurate. I'm going to, if you don't know, I don't know where Barton Hills is. But I guarantee you I can Google Barton Hills and I can find the history out about Barton Hills. And I might add a little history to that because maybe there's a historical site and the home is near the historical site. So I will do that. Google is my best friend. Okay. It truly is sometimes. But this information is kind of cool what you can do here. So I'm going to show you how to do what we call market snap right here. All right. I'm going to blow this up so you can see it a little better.
Ron, the 2 pages that you would change every single time, what are those 2 pages?
This one. And then the other one I change, if I can see it.
What would you call this page?
This would be page number 2 for me. Okay. Even though it says 3 here, this would be my page number 2. And it's just what's happening. It's about the town.
Market snap, you said, right?
Yep. Market
Okay.
snap. And then this one, that's not the one. I lied. I changed 3 pages. I changed their first name on this. There's one in here. I'll show when we get to it. I'll show. Oh, right here. I list on this one about the property, so I know the last time the property sold. If it's in a community, I'll list the last sold price within that community. I'll list basics of how many. If it's in that neighborhood, how many are currently active. Basic information, just so that they know where I'm coming from. On, hey, this is what I'm updating you on. So 3 pages. First one is the first name of the client and a picture of the property. Doesn't take long. Okay. The second one is the market. And then the third one is about the property. Everything else is the same.
Okay, and so the first page is the client's name.
Yep.
And
It's the name. And if you can get a photo of the property, that's what I'll put there. Okay.
The photo that you took or something they gave you?
Well, I'm not going to give you anything yet. So if you can't find it off like a realist, then, and if you're not near that area where you can snap a photo, you use a standard photo that you have.
So that's where you would go to realist.
Hmm?
Right.
Remember, no matter what, anytime I go on a listing presentation, like I said on Friday, the first thing I do when I look up information is I pull out information about that property. I sign into realist, I get all the tax information, I get an idea of what's going on within the neighborhood, just through realist.
So basically,
And if you're not that busy, I drive there and take pictures.
Yep,
yeah, so basically what you're doing is creating a little packet.
that's what you're doing. It's
An individualized packet of that property. So when you go there, that person is shown, right?
correct. And it also shows that you're already has a vested interest, right? It's showing that you're, oh, wow, they already came, took a photo of my property. It's like, that's kind of different than some people. But half the time, I'm gonna be honest with you, I just go in realist and I get to take the photo right off of there.
Hey, Ron,
Yeah.
you can also jump, I use Google overhead a lot too to see what's around the property behind it. If there's a pool. The overhead Google view is a great tool that I use tremendously.
I use Google as well when I need, again, Google is my friend. All right, so again, pages I change here. Finds information, boom. Why is it showing client information? Information about the home, okay? And then the last thing is this market snap. So I will update the market snap area. And I want to show you how to pull the market snap just to at least know how to pull it. Right from here, okay? So on the left-hand side, you have this option called KWLS. So Keller Williams Listing Systems. We're in designs. Then you click on listing presentation. So once you click on KWLS, you can pull up a listing or you can pull up a snapshot. Click on snapshot. From the snapshot option, you have this little filter that you can search by neighborhood or search by zip code. Switch it to the zip code. And obviously you type in your zip, okay? So whatever zip you're doing, you go for it. Again, I use Brigantine a lot because that's honestly my business. That's where I focus, okay? Know your area, be comfortable with that area that you're focused in. Press enter. Now we might get lucky today and it's going to show me on the left-hand side because sometimes when I stream it doesn't, but it does, okay? Go pull the information for me. I always verify this information, okay? I do. I go in, I know my numbers, I make sure it's accurate. Is it always 100% accurate? This information is coming from the Nextdoor app. So Nextdoor is it's a third-party IDX that gets streamed from the MLS, okay? So depending on when they update it, depends on how accurate this information is. I use it with a grain of salt. However, it looks nice, right? It's kind of a really kind of a streamlined approach with this. So if I want to get this over here, all I do, right? Because this is Brigantine, this is Barton Hills, wherever Barton Hills in Texas is. I click on what I want to replace. So I clicked on it. I notice that's got the aqua color box around it. I go back to what I want to replace it and I press the replace image option, which is right here. And now that information is right there. Don't have to click, drag, anything else. I can just click the image I want replaced, come over to the left-hand side, press the little replace image icon, which are the two arrows in a circle, and that information goes over there, okay? So I click here, right, on the right-hand side, and then I come over here, and I click the image I want to replace it with. Yep. Yeah, you got to click this image first that you want to replace. It always starts with there. Okay. So obviously I'll go through this listing presentation and I'll update it. I'm going to pull mine up here in a second so you can see what mine looks like. Because I'm not going to go through 29 pages with you. All right. This is up to you what you want to do. There's things in here of the process. Like you might want to update this process because maybe this process isn't your process. Okay. Maybe you don't want to do virtual open house. Then don't do it. Don't put it in the process. Okay. But offer it if you do. All right.
Sorry. When you want to compare the numbers, would you compare first to Kelly or Willis? Would you recommend?
Paragon.
Paragon. Okay.
Yep, we're going to do that next.
Okay.
Okay.
So to go back, in choosing the presentation template, what would you choose?
To your style. They're all the same. It's just a different layout and different style. So like some of them won't have the red up here with the verbiage on the left. You got to look through the different styles and choose the template you like. That's all it is. There's nothing different in the templates themselves. It's just the style, the photos. Some of them are rounded edges compared to squared edges. Some of them have extra images and graphics to shade things out. It's truly what you like. Okay. I'll show you what mine looks like completed so you have an idea. And again, I don't use 29 photos. I do not put comparables in this packet. I do my own CMA that gets created. So all of these that you're seeing in your template, these get deleted for me. I don't waste the time adding the photos. It's not for me. Might be for you. Maybe you're like, I like the one and done. Okay, do the one and done. Okay. But don't be afraid to play around with this. So let me go home and show you what mine looks like.
Really quick question
Yep.
on some of these. I don't know how to click on like strategic promotion. Obviously around here, they don't have coming soon campaign.
So you would delete it.
So, and how do you delete it?
What page is it?
Page 11. No, page 11 for you is different.
Yeah, but it's the same process. So if I wanted to, this said coming soon, like it does, I just clicked on the coming soon, and I press delete.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep, I just deleted. Okay, let me do this. Let me go into what mine looks like when it's done. I don't want to. All right, so. If I go into designs, I'm going to show you my listing packet. Oh, it'd help if I could. All right, so obviously I've changed my color combination, everything. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be red, okay? You will notice I don't use red on a lot of my marketing because I'm not a fan of red. But you can do what you want. You want to make it pink? Make it pink. I don't care, okay? As long as it has a DBA, I honestly don't care, okay? So here's a listing presentation that I went to, all right? So I didn't have a photo of his property, so I used a stock photo, last name. Again, no photo of his property, so I just pulled one off of the lovely Google search AirView, which was free to me. I've gone down that path where I've been in trouble taking someone else's photo. Do not do that. So information, when it was last sold, how much I knew about the property just based off of Realist, information around the community, okay? And then last but not least, I went over what Margate was doing with the information provided, blah, 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 okay? I confirm the information was accurate. Here's my process. So I go over the process of what I am actually going to do to sell the property itself. I educate the seller on how and where buyers are coming from. I then go over some of what we offer as promotional assets, and we're going to be talking that as a profession. I think the time has come where right now the market's kind of, I want to say it's stabilizing a little bit. At one point, we could just throw a price on the property and people were making offers. I think we have to work again a little bit. So we're going to talk about promotional assets. So I'm going to go over specifically what I'm going to offer, and we're going to discuss what it is, how it is, okay? From different marketing, from open houses to online presence, all that good stuff. I will go over the aspect of an open house strategy for the fact I do offer open houses, okay? So this is I go over and I make sure this information is accurate of what I'm doing, from what I'm going to be setting up, how I'm going to set it up, how I'm going to offer, how I'm going to actually market it. Credentials and awards. So newer agent, listen, tell them what Keller Williams is known for, okay? Tell them how they're represented in #1 of this, that, and the other. Let them know, educate them, okay? Sometimes when you're in the business and you hit your gold status and silver status and bronze status, that's great to include in here as well, but I let them know that when they're hiring me as their agent, they're also hiring the 280 agents I have in the office, and we're gonna sell your property, okay? That's a statement within itself. I go over how we're leading the industry with just our technology platform and how we're ahead of the curve. I go over what our promise is. Guess what? I didn't type up the promise. The promise was already loaded for me. All this information was already preloaded. I just changed the verbiage to make it sound like me. Okay. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know how to type all this up and what to do. Neither did I. It was there and I used the template. Okay. So don't overthink this. Do not overthink it. Selling safely right now with COVID, this is huge. Even with just in general, being safe, the safety guidelines in general is big. So I leave this in there so that they know. And I end with the bottom line of what they're going to be getting, right? Bottom line is I'm going to make sure that your satisfaction is guaranteed through this process. I'm going to show them how we can go through that seamless transition with my app. So I do throw that in there. I leave the information in that aspect so that they can decide to download it and connect with themselves. And my last page is just my information. Okay. So I cut it down from 20, almost 30 pages to half to 15. And if I probably re-edit this again, I probably could get rid of 2 more pages by combining it. But I like the flow. And during a listing presentation, I spend majority of the time on this. I go over this, okay? Because a seller already knows in their mind what the prices they want. They already have that in their mind, okay? We educate them if their number is right or not. You know, they'll say, well, Zillow says it's worth this, Realtor.com says it's worth this. That's great. Let's talk about that. Okay, let's compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. Okay. So this is my listing presentation. This is what I go over every single time. And guess what? By the time I get done this, the number that they had in mind, and when I educate them on the number where they're at, it's a lot easier to get them from an unrealistic number down to the middle ground. Maybe not the number I think we should be at, but if I can get them to a middle ground, fantastic. Okay. And even if I can't get them to the middle ground, I'm still going to provide this. What I have seen in other industries, I shouldn't say industries, other offices with KW, a lot of agents have taken this to the next step. Okay, and this is something I'm not done creating. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't share how type of results I have yet because I haven't tried it. But they use this listing presentation, and they have one page that they purposely leave out, which is an L cart on commission, because they then break down the listing presentation and say for a 6% commission, this is what you're going to be getting. For a 5.5, this is what you're going to be getting. For a 5, this is what you're getting. Because your commission is always a hot topic. Okay. So always remember, you know, you're in a profession where you get to set your fee in that aspect. So I haven't put it to practice yet. I can just tell you it's out there in the universe that other people have tried it. I'll wait to see their feedback. And if it's something that seems to work very well, maybe we'll invite someone here and kind of go over that with us. But they've taken the listing presentation, which they pulled from here, and have applied it to the next steps.
Can you actually print it?
Oh gosh, yeah, this is printed. I hand this to them. Yeah, this is.
Can you leave it with that?
Yep, there's nothing in here that they can't have. It's all, everything in here is public information, right? It's all public information, especially about their property. It's all public. I mean, you can go on any tax record and pull anyone's deed information and see what's on the deed. So by all means, public, save it.
It has your information there, so do you leave it with your card or you?
I don't leave my card. It's there. It's there. Okay. Business cards are kind of, I hate to say that they're a necessity, but
Yeah.
they're a necessity. Okay, they're a necessity. Okay.
How do you cover that, or do you just staple it? I know I was just like a machine that used to make it into a little book.
I'll put it, so I have my own little presentation folders that I have. Yeah, I have put it in a presentation folder, and if you wanted to put your business card in it, there's a slot there for your business card. They all come with it, but they get a presentation folder from me because I'm coming no matter what the price point is too. And let me just clarify that. My brand is more important to me than my price point, because my brand will then get me business. Okay, referrals, referrals, referrals. The name of the game is referrals, because the more clients that are giving you referrals, the busier you're gonna be. Okay, and I can't emphasize that enough. You have to have a business plan around your referral business, and it's not about giving away business, it's your clients giving you a referral. Okay, there's a whole class we can talk about that, of how you can build your referral line from clients. Just a quick example, I built a Cutco line, so I know that's kind of expensive. However, the referrals I get from this one client, she's giving me $2 million a year in sales. So I'm going to give her a new piece of Cutco every time I get a referral from her, regardless if it closes or not. And that's just something I do. Not for all my clients, some of my clients. Okay, it gets expensive. It gets expensive, but take care of your people that take care of you, regardless if the deal goes through or not. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there. Especially us being new, you want to thank people for helping you start your business. Okay. Are we kind of excited about this? I know I was, because I'll tell you, when I started with Keller Williams, all I had was Paragon and the CMA and RPR. That's all I had available to me. I had no idea. When I was overwhelmed the first time. They're like, you need to make a listing presentation. Oh my gosh, where do I pull this information? How do I do it? How to make it look professional? Boom, done. Okay. Questions about listing. Again, I want you playing around in this week, editing it to the way you want to do it, because Friday, I'd like to see it. You can send it to me. For those of you that are on Zoom, you can send it to me as a PDF attachment. That's fine. You can send it to me before Friday. That's fine as well. But I don't want you to. You need to do it for yourself, not for me, for yourself. Okay. And once we start reviewing the MREA, you're going to hear about the 3 L's: listings, leads, leverage. Here's how command can be leveraged. Create it once and it's done. Okay. Then listings, boom. This is part of your listing business plan, so you need to have it created. Up to you. Okay. It's completely up to you.
So when you create it, do you save it to your desktop? Or
Nope.
Command or Mac or save?
Saved in command. That way I can go in there and edit what I need to edit. And it's saved there. Okay. And what I do, just FYI, anytime I go on a listing presentation and I get the listing, I then file this in my DocuSign folder. Because then if they reference something I don't do, I have it, right? So anytime I'm on a listing presentation, it goes in my DocuSign folder and it's there. So it's just one of those things that I like to have, because you never want to be in a situation where you gave them information that wasn't accurate. Go back and revisit it. Because if you save this in command and keep editing it, you might not have the original one you had. So I do download this and I do upload it into my DocuSign folder. My DocuSign is my Manila folder. Okay, I cannot emphasize that enough. It's my Manila folder, so that if I need anything, I know where to pull anything from. Okay, it's all there. I can pull from my phone, my computer, any computer I can pull from if I sign in with my correct credentials. So that's just one of the best practices I do. It is there. Okay. Questions? All right, I'm going to show you the buyer's presentation, and that will give us about an hour left to go over creating numbers and CMAs, which we've already kind of talked about previous. So if you're buyer heavy, you have a lot of buyers, okay? Buyers are more work. I'm not going to lie. During transaction, sometimes on the buyer side, it's a little more work. Why? Because you're taking out people to show properties, you're negotiating the price, you're negotiating then the aspect of the inspection. You're making sure you have everyone lined up for those inspections. You're making sure there's a little more steps into here, okay? So if you're buyer heavy, there are some things you need to do to prepare yourself, all right? Especially if you're taking buyers out and you're not checking to see if they're pre-approved first. Anyone ever do that? It's okay to say yes right now, because I'll be honest with you, I think everyone has done it. I've done it, okay? It's just, oh yes, I'm excited. I got a buyer, someone's interested. Let's go look at this $300,000 house. Perfect, you wanna put an offer in? What are you approved for? Find out they're only approved for $200,000. We just wasted our time, okay? So this is something you can prepare and send to a buyer ahead of time. It educates them on your process. It educates them on you, okay? You can correlate this, especially with buyers. you can correlate this buyer's presentation to get them to download your app, because on your app, there's a buyer's guide. So a buyer's guide could take them through step-by-step of the process and answer questions. We will show you guide builders at a later time. I don't think right now is the best time to do that, but we will go over the buyer's presentation. So we're still in designs. Okay, so I'm going to click on designs. If you're just catching up with me, you can see how I'm accessing this. I'm going to create the design. And I'm going to create another print. The last time when we did this for a listing presentation, we went under listing. Anyone want to guess where we're going to go this time? Buyer. Okay. It's going to be under buyer. So as soon as my computer here catches up with my mind of where I want to be. All right. So under buyer. Come on. Buyer presentation. So again, completely up to you which one you want to use. I can't tell you, all right? So I'm just gonna click, I always use the last one. I don't know why, I just do, okay? Doesn't have any extra information that the other ones don't. Okay, so I can see right away that it's 32 pages, okay? Buyer information of what you're going to be doing. Again, you can make it your own, all right? I'm not going to tell you do this or do that. It's up to you what you want to have in that. But the buyer presentation is very similar to the seller's presentation. Up to you what you update. Client name, I keep, okay? I want to make it a little personal so they know they're getting individualized attention from me, okay? If you change anything, your table of contents need to be changed, so just keep that in mind, all right? I like keeping, information about what their true needs and wants are, so that dream home aspect of here, I like to know what they're looking for. Close your eyes. Tell me what exactly it is. Let me just. So that when you're going out and you're seeing properties, you're hitting on those objectives. I push the app function, okay? Again, the reason why I push the app is, honestly, it makes my life a little easier. I'm not gonna lie, okay? Yes, I can add them to drip campaigns in Paragon. I can do that, that's fine. But Paragon, one thing I don't like about Paragon is it only pulls Paragon listings, okay? What I like about my app save searches, as they're called, is it pulls all the MLSs, especially now with kind of bright trickling in some of the areas. I need that, okay? And it pulls that information for me, because I hate the fact that sometimes, your clients will say, well, why didn't you send me this listing? And it's sold. And I can't find it in Paragon because an out of area realtor put it in Bright, and I didn't have access to Bright to pull it up to look at it. And I was just sending them a campaign through Paragon. Okay. So that's why I push the app, and it's that's what I just gave you, that script works. Say, listen, I want you to download my app because we have agents out of the area that list properties in their own MLS. And I want to make sure you have access to that. And my app will pull that access for you in real time. Okay, simple. The worst thing is when they screenshot a Zillow listing. You didn't tell me about this and you can't find it. Okay, you can't find it. All right. I'm just going to go over some of the aspects that I like to keep. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not buyer heavy. I don't focus on buyers as much as I do listings. Okay. And that's just a choice. You run your business the way you want to run your business. It's harder to get listings in this market today. Do I take buyers out? Yeah, I do. I'm not going to turn business away. But when I'm lead genning, I'm lead genning for listings, not buyers. Okay, just FYI. All right. So your home wish list, we talk about what the wish list is, continues to talk about it. But what I really like, I'm going to show you. This, the buying process, how it works, how it comes down to the details. And here's the lovely thing. If you don't know the process, here's a great little tool that's going to show you the process. What do I do next? You know, the big question is, all right, I got a contract, put the contract in. Great. You got the contract signed, you're out of attorney review. You're not done. Okay. The contract was the easy part. All right. Believe it or not, that was the easy part. You should be open escrow right away with the title company, communicating with that title company that escrow has been opened, because escrow letters need to go out to everyone. It's going to talk about that in this. You need to make sure that your deadlines are hit with your inspections, because if you're out of an inspection time frame right now, good luck trying to get an addendum to get inside of the inspection time frame, because it's not happening. So it's going to talk about them. It's going to talk about the who owns what during this transaction. So I think what you should do first, when you start to create the buyer presentation, read the whole thing. Educate yourself. Use it as an individual training for yourself to go through this process, because there's so much information on here that you need to understand it. I would print a copy of this, and if you have questions, I would circle it, highlight it, and that's when you come to me or anyone in leadership and say, all right, what does this actually mean? Again, making it words to yourself so you understand it, because there's some verbiage in here that's realtor verbiage that a buyer's not going to understand. Well, what's escrow? Oh, they might not know escrow. Okay. You might be sitting here, oh, I really don't know escrow, but I ain't going to say anything right now. That's okay. That's why I want you to read through this. Okay. I want you to read through that time frame. You know, attorney review clause. Attorney review is not in here. You need to add that. We're in New Jersey, so we have an attorney review. Okay. We have a grace period of those specific timeframes. Okay. And we could sit up here and talk about attorney review and what that means and everything else. You're not a lawyer. If they want to review attorney review, that's when we hire a lawyer. Okay. They have that option in the state of New Jersey. Okay. You will realize also in the state of New Jersey, once you cross a threshold in New Jersey, we'll say central, lawyers are involved automatically. Okay. South Jersey, where we are, we don't typically see, let's put it this way, south of Little Egg, because of Little Egg has lawyers, there's a lot up in the Ocean County area. We typically haven't seen a lot of lawyers used. This past summer, I have dealt with more lawyers than on any transaction than ever, because people, my buyers that were coming out of the north are used to lawyers. So just educating yourself on that process will help you through this. Okay. So use this tool first on how am I supposed to interact as a buyer's agent. I think that's my best advice to you, because you print this out, have this, know what you need to do. The futures of financing. Listen, I've been pushing for you to go connect with some mortgage reps, connect with them, understand them. Show this page to your mortgage reps. All right, future of financing. This is the do's and the don'ts. Is there anything else I should be adding in here that I'm not aware about for the state of New Jersey, which I can't think of anything crazy, but there might be something missing in here that mortgage reps are now seeing as a concern that you want to add. So don't be afraid to share. This is not like classified information. This is information that is supposed to be shared. Okay. Share that information with them.
Huh?
Yes. I thought someone said something. Home loans. There's one other one here I want to call out. I just can't see it on my right-hand side.
So you know that property that the way you want to subdivide?
Uh-huh.
The Thailand, would that be included in there?
Subdivision, special.
Yeah. The Highlands.
Do not put neighborhood information in here. If that's where you as a listing agent, that's a listing, that's where you as a listing agent need to provide them where to go for the information. Because a lot of the times when you're subdividing everything else, you as the realtor, you can't be involved in that process. That's the homeowner, because the homeowner owns that property. You're only going to represent them during the transactional sale of that property. So you can educate them, hey, you're going to want to go A, B, C here. They're going to guide you through this process. Update me along the way, keep me posted. But you want to put ownership where ownership is, okay? Because the worst thing that can happen, and I've seen this happen, and I've been on the receiving end, the seller expects you to do it, and we do a lot of things, okay? We do, but there's got to be that clear communication of you own this, I'll help you with this, okay? You'll have some sellers who want to touch nothing, wipe hands of nothing, including opening their own boards for someone. So you'll go through that process, but especially the Pinelands and construction, yep. Educate your sellers on where to get the information from. You can provide them where to go and links to go, but they need to do, unfortunately, sometimes sellers have to do a little work. Okay. And I'll be honest with you, when they don't want to do the work, that's when they just hire a lawyer to do the work, right? Hey, can you do this, this, and this? This is what I need you to do. Okay, that's what they're there for you to do. Don't provide legal advice. Don't say, well, legally you can do this. Don't say that. Don't say that. Okay, just say, let's find out. Okay. Let's see, is there something else in here? I wanted to show you one other page, I thought. Maybe I took it out. Again, just go read it, print it out, review it. Oh, yeah, here it is. The terminology. I think this is hilarious. So if you don't know some of this information, it's great to know because you're going to see this information, the terminology aspect, especially on a contract of sale. Okay. Don't fill out a contract of sale if you have no idea what the verbiage means, because you might guess what it means. Okay. And you don't want to make something up. Okay. You please don't make something up. If you don't know, just say, I don't know. Okay. The worst thing to do is to make something up. But just different information for you. Educate yourself. Okay. So again, listing presentation, I want you to work on the listing presentation throughout the week. Buyer's presentation, I'd rather you just read it, see what's in it, get to know it, okay? Get used to, think about this when you are going out and you're meeting a buyer for the first time, you're getting them to sign what the first time you're taking a buyer out? Switch CIS. Yeah, I'm like, switch the letters around. CSI, it's a good show, but CIS, right? CIS. Some of you are getting to have your buyers sign off on what else? Yeah, the buyer's exclusive agency. So guess what? If you're doing a buyer's exclusive agency, I would also educate my buyer on this is why you're doing a buyer's exclusive agency with me. Here's why you want to buy with me. Okay, is this package? Educate them. Okay. Use it as your advantage, okay? You're at an open house. Guess what? I might have a couple of these just laying around saying, hey, if you want any information on my buying process, here it is. Don't be afraid to include it, okay? Don't be afraid to include it at all. So I'm going to pause us. I'm going to take us right where I want it to be. A little over.
How do you save that?
Oh, yeah.
Save that, and then you're gonna name that one.
So right here. So right here where it says modern on one, I'll do buyers
Okay.
presentation and I click done. And now it'll be in my designs.
Design templates.
Yep, it'll be there for me. Okay. So
If you save it, you go to modern 01 and then you
name it whatever you want to name it
Yeah.
and then click done. And what's happened now with designs, because for the longest time you would create something, then it would crash and it wasn't saved. Now it's auto saving on certain aspects. So anytime you start playing up here, it's going to start auto saving anyway. Okay.
I can just add what I usually do is save this date for 11/06/21.
Yep.
Every document I ever make, so I can find it.
Find it by the date too.
Find by the date. and what I did the last.
Yep.
Because everything else is basically standard, special, except where you want to personalize it to that property.
Or that buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a spot in the buyer presentation to have their information, and you need to know them before you give this to them, right? If you're randomly just meeting them at the open house, you're not gonna have their buyer information. So you might have a buyer presentation for open house template and then a buyer presentation for buyer. You know what does that make sense? Like I'm gonna have two different templates because I'm gonna be using it in two different scenarios.
You can go ahead and create it and save it.
Yep, so that way when you get their name, all you're changing is their name and their town they're looking in the neighborhoods.
But
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Now when you're helping a buyer, now you're gonna be doing the CIS form and the buyer exclusive?
You don't have to do buyer exclusive, okay? That's completely, we let you run your business the way you want to run it. That's completely up to you. I can tell you where I see people use buyer exclusive agencies a lot. If they're paying for leads, they're using the buyer exclusive agencies, okay? I don't use a buyer exclusive agency. That is my choice, okay? It is a choice you need to decide to do, okay? I can tell you where I'm seeing them at. I saw a lot of buyer exclusive agencies offer submitted this past summer because I'm guessing this past summer, people were trying to undermine agents and take buyers' information. And let me just tell you, karma is what karma is, okay? If someone's gonna do that, karma is what karma is. But you have every right to use a buyer exclusive agency if you want to. You have every right as a Keller Williams agent, okay? I just me personally, I don't choose to do it because I win them over with my personality anyway. So that's how they keep coming back to me, okay?
how many pages is your buyer's presentation usually?
I try and keep it, Jen, as close to 15 as possible. So I get rid of a lot of the, I honestly get rid of a lot of the neighborhood information because the neighborhoods can change and I want to kind of look at as many neighborhoods as possible. So and I think that's like 6 pages that I'll delete, but I don't know why I like the odd number of 15, but I just do for some reason. It works for me. And then again, if I'm doing the buyer, I'm pushing the buyer to my app because then I have the digital guide that takes them through this too, step by step by step. All right, great. You have now gotten appraisal. Here's the next step we're going to do. And that's already built for you, FYI, in your KW app. You don't have to recreate that. You can edit it, but it's there for you. Our new tech driver will be able to teach us that, which is Kendrick in the back. He is going to be our new tech trainer. So he, I'm sure, is going to be setting up classes soon to go over that information. And of course, I'm available to teach it as well. Okay. So with that, I want to put us on a 10-minute break because we need to decompose everything we just learned. So those of you on Zoom, go, well, I don't see all of you. So if you're not on camera, go get your coffee break, do whatever you got to do. And we'll resume here in 10 minutes.
Where are we going when we resume?
Paragon.
I'll be back to Paragon, so I can close it out. It was very interesting.
Let's put on some music again. Liz, do you need me within the time 10 minutes? Oh,
Actually, I don't know how you got to that page.
I think Lourdes can show you because she is now,
Wow.
she is it. She's got it.
Designs.
Yes.
And designs.
So where it says listings, and you want to do buyer. That's the one that, the listing presentation.
That doesn't show up on my.
And then.
Break.
Okay. She already knows.
I think I kept saying that.
And now let's stay on fire. Get ahead of it.
Oh, I'm
That's where my license is.
How did your open house go?
So I had a migraine Saturday, so I didn't go.
Oh, okay.
But Jen from the office, she took a few people through because they wanted to get in.
Okay.
And then Sunday, I received a phone call from someone who said, "Hey, I'm gonna make you account Saturday. Can you take me through it?" And so not too shabby for a Sunday, just like a $1.1 million sale.
Congrats.
Well, no congratulations until the closing table.
I was saying, I am. Anything can happen.
Anything can and will happen. I learned that early on. I get so excited when I got something under contract, and I'll get excited until I'm at the table. And this past summer was the first time I was at the table and the deal done.
That's the one that you said the listing that you didn't want to listen to that price and.
Oh no, something completely different.
Um,
I had the listing, and the buyer's wall at the listing. So that was fun. They decided not to buy on closing day. People are people.
You kind of know if you don't want to buy something way before.
You know, so we waited, half. Buyers and. It's what it is. Real estate. It's one of the most honest sayings, and I hate it. You get your tax report? Listing?
I did. Yes. That's what he said. It's the back hall. But he has some concern So do I do it in general?
Let's talk first.
That's what I do.
That's fine.
And that's really. And they're doing
When's closing?
Yeah, they're closing on the side. And he wants to- It's a different business. Yeah,
Yes, every right.
and they're gonna send me the thing about the, postponing the inspection, making sure that the termite is up.
Hopefully there's nothing wrong. If there is anything wrong with that, you'll have to send someone. It's the VA.
Yes.
Okay, I know. All right. So today, the rest of this afternoon, or this morning, I should say, we're going to talk about CMAs. Okay. Now, remember, oh, hold on, I got to remember my password. There's lots of different resources you can use to create CMAs. Okay. We're going to go over Paragon and RPR. All right. And it's up to you as the agent to determine which system you like best. There's no right or wrong answer here. Okay. I feel Paragon allows you to be a little more hyper local than RPR. All right. But you can use whichever you prefer. I sometimes use Paragon to do all my research, and then I'll put those MLS numbers into RPR to get me a CMA packet because I actually like RPR's CMA packet better than Paragon's. Does that make sense? Okay. So it really determines your preference, what you like. Bright, completely different as well. For some of you that use Bright, I do have a Bright account. I do create CMAs in Bright. However, again, I still use the RPR packet because I like it a little better. I don't know, it's like 170 every quarter or something. So if you want to pay the 170 per quarter, you can go ahead and sign up because you're not joining a board, you're just joining a system. Okay. But don't quote me.
You can see the properties that are on Bright on your app still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't need Bright for Bright unless you are entering properties in a Bright area. Multiple states. 1/3 of New Jersey, if not more. Maybe 2/3 now.
It's a good idea to have that, because a lot of times, like, I'm looking in Kane County, right?
Well, Cape May County is a Cape May MLS. It's a different MLS.
So that won't be on Bright.
It might, but if you're looking in Cape May MLS is what you need to be a member of. So New Jersey's got, I think, 10, I could be wrong, different MLSs. Okay.
That's so close, I mean, what do you do when you're trying to find properties?
Contact Rosalie. Can I get your sign in? She can't give out Bright MLS. You have to come to the office to use the Bright MLS. I'm not sure about the rules with Cape May MLS. She might require to still come because she was getting fines because of agents. So,
Where you look on your app?
or you can look on your app for the property
You can join.
if you want to. Personally, if you don't plan on doing business, like my business model is I'm doing business in Pennsylvania this year, so I need Bright because that's the MLS that they use. Okay. So if it's part of your business model, by all means join it. If not, don't spend the unnecessary money. Just drive to the office, get the listings that you need, and go on.
How do you sign on Bright?
You have to see Laura. She signed you on,
Okay.
and she signed you on from the computer, not from your laptop. Okay. All right. So we sort of went over this the other day when we went over Paragon, how to map specific properties out. Okay. And we're going to reference some of that information because you're going to need to know it. Okay. So I'm going to say for this training purpose, we're going to focus on 3-bedroom, 2-bath condos. Okay. And I'm going to show you how I would pull a comp. And the reason I'm doing this is because those of you that have attended this training and everything else, you're going to get a special invite for a listing preview. I think I'll be available to get it next week that I'm getting the listing. I'm sharing the listing with someone, but I'm going to invite new agents to that property first, create what they feel a correct listing price should be. Okay. So I want you to get in, I'm showing you how to do condos for a reason today, because if the availability fits your schedule, I'm literally going to meet you there. You're going to walk through the condo, get an idea of condition, because condition does factor in when it comes to pricing. And I'm going to see what you're going to price it compared to what I'm going to price it. Okay. And I think it'll be good to go through a real life explanation of that. Okay. It's great to talk about it in a classroom and look everything up, but you'll be able to go through it. You'll be able to go back to the office in Brigantine, and it's going to be in Brigantine because that's where my business is. Sorry, guys. You get to spend the day on the island. You get to come over, go to the Brigantine office, which if you haven't been to the Brigantine office, it's a little quaint little office. It's a very homey office. But you'll get to spend some time in the Brigantine office, know that, get to meet hopefully Haley at the front desk because she sends you guys communication for me, put a name to the face, and you get to figure out what you would list the property for. And then obviously, once the listing goes live, anyone can sit that open house. It's going to be vacant, so anyone can sit that open house. It's a great little neighborhood. Okay. I'm not going to put a day yet, because I got to talk to the owner first. Okay. But it's going to be sometime next week. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Okay. But I think it'll be fun. Okay. I think it'll be something good that everyone that you can experience in real life. All right. You can kind of map it out and it'll be a good experience. So today, there's a reason why I'm doing a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay. We're going to search a comparable property. Okay. I'm going to create a CMA. I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay. You can follow along, take notes. Don't have to click on anything. I will try and slow down a little bit because I know I tend to speak fast. And I tend to go through the systems fast because I'm used to it now. So I want to show you how to do it. I'm going to take a little bit of time doing it. We might run about 10 minutes over past the 12 o'clock if I don't get kicked out of here. Just where we're at from time frame. Okay. So this is me pretending that I'm actually going to be listing a property. This is what I do. All right. So because I know I'm going in a specific town in a specific area, I'm going to search it this way. So I'm going to do searches for condominiums. Okay. And I'm going to search a couple different functions here. First thing I'll do is all sold. Okay. So anything that's all sold in a specific area. So that area that I'm looking at is code 140, which is Brigantine. And you will start to memorize these numbers once you start doing things. So don't be like, oh my God, how does he know all this? Trust me, it's because I've done it. Remember, I don't know if I've ever told you the story. It took me a week to figure out how to sign a Paragon my first week here at Keller Williams because I kept searching Paragon on Google and nothing came up. If you search Paragon, it doesn't exist. Okay. But I remember Ethel telling me, well, you got to sign into Paragon, got to sign into Paragon. I had no idea what Paragon was. Okay. So I'm going to be looking for 3 bedrooms, maximum 3 bedrooms. I know this property is going to have 2 full baths. And I know the maximum is going to be 2 full baths. I'm going to try and compare apples to apples. Okay. So far, so easy, right? Area, sold, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I know that's what I'm looking for. What I'm now going to change is my closing date. Anyone know what we should look at for a closing date, a time frame?
3 months.
3 months.
3 months?
6 months.
6 months? 6. So I look at 6 and then I look at 12 just to see the difference of where the market shift was. Okay. For this one, for time purposes, I'm going to pretend we've done the 6. So I'm going to go right to the year. Okay. And I'm only doing the year just to see if there's a trend. Okay. 18. Okay. So I changed my closing date from 11/1/2020. All right. To the end date. Now, keep in mind, the reason you do the 6 months typically is because that's where the appraisals come from, right? That's when the home gets appraised, they go out, they look at recent comps, boom. In some situations, this is how crazy some properties are, you have to look up to 18 months. You might even have to look a little further because there are some very unique properties out there. Okay, so don't get discouraged when you say, oh gosh, there's nothing. I can't find anything. Okay. But what I can see is I have sold a total of, there's been a total of 34 sales in the last year in Brigantine that had 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. Okay. Now it's just reading the data. I'm going to search for them. So what this information tells me is my outliers, right? My list price and sold price. So my highest property that sold for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath was $995. And then my lowest price was $235. They're my outliers. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? High, low, I'm probably going to get somewhere in the middle, right? When I'm pricing a property, I was seeing what's compared to compared. All right. So you can filter this any way you want to do it. I'm going to filter it by price. Doesn't matter how you do it. All right. Your screen might not look like this. I have set my settings up to make it look like this. You can play around with the settings screens in here just by clicking on settings and fields. Okay. Doesn't matter. It's going to be the same information. Okay. So I know 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I have 36 of them here, 34 of them here. I'm going to select, the first thing I'm going to do here, and I know the island well enough that I'm going to select all of them. And the reason I'm pressing select all is because when I update this, you're going to see what happens. So I know that this property all the way at the bottom is really a townhouse, not a comparable for what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. So I'm unselecting that one. I also know 612 Bayshore, that was a townhouse, not comparable. This one, not comparable. I also know this one is not comparable. So don't get excited about the price right away until you start diving in. Anything on the water, not comparable, because the condo that I might be having you walk through definitely does not have a water view. I can tell you that. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that that's the condo. Okay. These are not comparable compared to what I just walked in. And I also know this is not, this is not, this is not, this is not, this is, that's not. Oh, uh-oh. So believe it or not, this is what you're going to do. You're going to spend time going through this, looking through the different aspects of what's comparable, what's not. That's a townhouse. Good. That's a townhouse. That's oceanfront. Water view. Bay. Isn't that the one you sold in? Oh, Emery's not on here anymore, but that's one she sold, I think. I want you to see what happens once I start going through this and updating it. All right. So now I've selected the ones that I feel is comparable. Okay. Again, I'm not going to say why for this training. I'm just showing you how to select them. All right. So I went from an average sales price at 501. Now I've actually selected ones that are true comparables. What's my average sales price now? Anyone see that? Right there, 450. So I'm now comparing. What I mean by comparing is I might be looking at on the islands is location. On mainland, it's size. How big is the house? I might have to look at square footage. I might have to look at yard, how big the yards are. So as you know, as the profession that you are, you have to start looking into so that you can compare apples to apples. All right. I can't tell you what they're going to be. All I can tell you is what to look for. So obviously the first thing to look for is how many bedrooms, how many baths the property has. Okay. Look at the square footage. If you're on the mainland, look at the square footage of a property. How big is the house? I can't say an 1,800 square foot house is going to be the same price as a 3,000 square foot house. Not going to happen. Okay. I need to look in the area that I'm selling. Different towns, different prices. Okay. So you have to be very strategic in that. And I'm not here to teach you that aspect. That's a one-on-one conversation that we can have. What I'm here to show you is how to find MLS data that you can build a CMA for. Okay. So I've already reduced my average sales price to 450. Okay. I can see that my highest sold price that comparable is 570 and my low is 258. Believe it or not, when you're on the island, you get these crazy numbers. Okay, mainland, they're closer. Okay, a lot closer. I'm showing you Brigantine just for the fact I'm having you meet me in Brigantine next week. Okay, a little different. All right, and I'm going to tell you how different it is on the island. If you get an opportunity to get a listing on the island, go for it. Our average sales price is a lot higher than the mainland. Okay, don't turn it away. I can take the same 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and put it on the 100 block in Brigantine and move it to the 200 block in Brigantine, and I'm adding $80,000 to the bottom line of that house. Nothing else has changed about location. Okay, so islands is very unique pricing. Okay, it's just a very unique aspect. Okay, but this is the basics of how to do that. Okay, so does this make sense to everyone so far? I kind of search, I start to filter out what I don't want. And if you don't know what it is, okay, click on the MLS, look at the MLS, see what it is, go through it. All right, see the difference on what you're offering compared to what you walked through. You know, I don't always know a number when I'm going through a listing house. I don't always know what I'm walking into. I might, if I really don't know the house, I might tell them this is a 2-appointment listing. I'm gonna come back with a number because I'm gonna leave you some homework to do, but compare what you can compare to if you know the property. All right. So I could cheat right here and create a CMA. Okay, I can do that from right this screen. All right, I can create under the reports. I can go to CMA and I can do a summary spreadsheet. I can print this out and I can have this. Typically, that's what I do. I want the MLS numbers. Okay, and the reason I do that is this: I want MLS numbers. I told you I like building I like the RPR CMA better than the Paragon CMA. The choice. You don't have to have a choice. The choice. Okay, because what I do is I print this out and then I have this. Okay.
What do you get, what button was that again?
Yep. Reports.
I mean, from the. What page were you just on? Oh,
This?
from that, yes.
All I do is I change reports. I go to CMA and I choose the CMA summary. Okay. I do it for myself. You're going to find your own way of doing it. I'm going to show you how I do this. Okay. You have an option now where you can create a CMA in Paragon, or you can create a CMA in RPR. If I wanted to create the CMA in Paragon, I would click on CMA and go through the process. Okay. I kind of just want to show you, for the heck of it, what an RPR CMA looks like, because again, I don't know, for those of you who've done listing presentations, I think RPR has better, it just looks nicer. I'm just going to come down to and say it just looks nicer. Okay. Emery, which one do you use?
I use the RPR, but I haven't been through, I really have to customize.
That's exactly what I do. I do all my research here first. I don't let RPR pull my comps. I pull my own comps. This is me pulling comps. Does that make sense to everyone? All right, so let's pretend. And again, I have to get to RPR. I do is I click resource RPR. So if you remember when we signed in here on Friday, there was a competitive analysis screen in RPR. Okay. And we're going to create that. Okay. We're going to create a CMA. We're going to go through it. And it doesn't take long for it to pull the information. So I'm going to click on create CMA. If you don't do, you can follow. Okay, show me. CMA. All right. Let's say, I don't want to give away where we're going, so you get an advance. No, can't do that because that's for sale. That's not good.
How about 801?
It's already active. I don't want an active property.
Oh,
Let's do 84. I don't even know, sailfish. Okay. I hope this isn't for sale. It's just going to mess us up. So this is the listing appointment I'm going to. 84 sailfish. Okay, good. It's not for sale. All right. At this point in time, it's going to pull it up. Your screen might look a little different. That's okay. It's just settings. I'm going to click create report from here. You have lots of different information that you can create. Okay. You can do market activity. You can do evaluation. Please note though, like 74 pages is a lot of pages. Don't do that. Okay. You don't have to do that. Okay. We're not going to do that. I'm probably going to go with seller's report. It's 80 pages, so we're going to delete some things. Okay. And you can delete it by just selecting here. If you have no idea what these are, like what's the comp analysis range? Okay, click on it. It's going to tell you what the comp analysis range is. I'm going to show you how big this report is, so I'm not going to delete anything. But it's huge. Okay. Create report. So when you're in here, and your screen might say create CMA, which typically it does. But for some reason today it's not, which is okay. It probably will say create CMA right under the address. For me, it's not. Okay, so I'm just going to create the report. And I'm choosing seller's report for this. Do it one more time because I saw someone else.
It'll show up there too.
Yep. there we go. Scrolling out. Typically what it makes you do, and I don't know why it's not doing that, so I'm going to change this up. You don't like this.
I'm still in salvage report.
It should be CMA and it's not loading it. I don't know why, but one more time here. Of course, when you stream live, it doesn't want to work.
Not
I have
working for
some-
me either.
Okay, so I don't feel bad because typically it just comes right up for CMA. Okay, maybe it wants to show them. Okay. RPR is having a special day today.
It's like there's really no 84 sailfish according to RPR.
Yeah.
Could we do your house?
Let me change it to a different number. Maybe there isn't an 84 sailfish. I know there is a. I know there's a 61. There we go. All right. This is what it should look like. Oh, ugly pink. It's got lovely pink garage doors, which if you didn't get the humor there. Interesting, right? Okay. Notice where it's saying 482 is RVM, which I take RPR with a grain of salt. Okay. Remember, our mid-average rain was 450. Okay. So all I do is create CMA. And you can do a comparative analysis or you can do a sales comparison. I just do the comparative analysis. It's a little shorter version. The sales comparison, you can really break it down. But again, your choice. I'm going to confirm the facts. Let me go there first. So it is have it as a single family. It's a fee simple. So maybe that's why they're saying single family. I don't really know the facts, so this is going to be fun. All right, so I confirmed the facts. Obviously, you would know the facts of the property you're going to, right? You asked that question, tell me about your house. What does it feature? Right? You're not just going to say, yeah, I'll be there and not know anything about the property. Okay, find some information about the property. Find comps. This is where I add known comps. So you can have RPR do it for you, and they're going to tell you the difference on what they're looking at. But this is where I add a known property. So I will click on an add a known property. And from trial and error, I'll let you know the address works better than the MLS number sometimes. So I'm going to type in this one. Well, I'm just going to copy and paste, actually. Of course. This is the fun thing with RPR, right, Anne-Marie? Oh, I don't want the E at the end.
So from the original, you went to create a report?
Yep. Yeah. You got to play around with it if you haven't figured that out.
We're doing seller's report.
I'm in CMA, so I changed the address. It wasn't pulling it.
If you add the E at the end, that's the one it gives you.
Each Ave East.
Yeah. See, mine came up.
That's probably have an extra space at the end of Brigantine.
Wow.
Remove Brigantine.
This is the fun thing when you do CMAs.
That like
There it is.
with like spaces, it has to be exact.
It's finicky. That's all I can say is it's finicky. And that's what you're gonna learn with the frustration sometimes with the systems. Now it's working fine.
And you can add as much as you want.
So good question. Don't overkill this. Okay, don't pull, oh, I have 20 comps. 20 comps is too many. Okay, there's no golden goose egg number. But I can tell you 20 is too many. Okay. I like to be between 5 and 7. I like odd numbers. I don't know what it is. I like 15 for my pages. I like 5 and 7 for comps. It's really up to you of how far deep you want to go into it. But all I'm showing you is how to build this thing. So when you're in here, you can see it's evaluating, right, the difference in prices. We'll do one more. Oh, goodness. See if we'll find this one.
So when you choose the comps, should you also add in, should you add in the ones that have a higher price point or maybe one of each?
I have a mixture. And I have a mixture based off of what I know about the property, right? So I will tell you, you have a tendency always to go for the highest ones, right? Oh, I want to make sure I get this listing, get the highest comps. But you have to have a reflection of yourself. And what I mean by this is right now, with the market stabilizing and everything else, the goal is to sell a property. If you outprice a property, you could damage that property for a while. People know, oh, it's overpriced, it's overpriced, it's overpriced, right? So you have to be realistic on what you're comparing it to. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow for people, especially some sellers. But I give it a mix. And I give it a mix because usually you find that happy middle ground. Usually there's sometimes where there's some, no, I want this amount and that's it. Okay, then we'll try. Okay, we will try. But notice how it lowered to 490 to 751, right? That's a huge spread.
You
Okay.
should walk these property before you create the CMA so you know about any other like.
That's my, so that's my little, yeah, so that's my little, you know, my little script saying, hey, listen, we can come through. I want to see your property so I can make sure I can compare. And I say this every time. I want to compare it apples to apples, not apples to oranges. So I want to really get a feel of your property. That's why I want to know what do you love about your property? What's the best selling point of your property? Because I want to make sure, right. Now I'll get that information beforehand, but then I go through with that checklist that I showed you guys that other day. I write notes, ton of notes of what the property offers, what it's compared, when the updates were done. You know, you could go, someone could tell you that, oh, I updated my kitchen. House was built in the 70s. Updated my kitchen. You updated the kitchen in the 90s. 2021. There's a big difference between what was the in thing in the 90s compared to now.
So that's why you do the mixture of price based on what the property is itself. And then
Correct. And I do this knowing before I go. Okay. So that's why I have a spread. So I have a general idea. All right. Depending on the current condition of the property, here's a good idea for me of where I'm thinking. And that speech I always give, you know, I'm thinking in between this price and this price. And watch what you say from a price standpoint. Just don't make anything up. But I said I would really like to go back now that I've seen your property. I'd really like to do a detailed version of this and present that with you. That's when I come back and pick up the seller's disclosure. I keep them. I said, when I'm doing that, I need you to fill out the history of your home because these are questions that everyone's going to ask anyway. So if you know it, great. If you don't, NA, great. And that's how I keep that. Okay. So it's like it's a 2-appointment thing, believe it or not. Some people don't like doing that. That's just my way. But I just feel like it works.
Yeah, so like while you're walking through the property to get an idea of, you know, like what's good and bad on it, you should give the client a disclosure for them to fill out themselves.
I leave it.
Oh,
So I leave it. Yep, so I leave. So this is my script. All right. So Sally Sue. I sit down and say, Sally Sue, all right, now that I've seen your property, thank you for allowing me to see the property. I now want to I want to compare true comps to what your property is worth. While I'm doing that, do you mind filling out this information about your property? Feel free to give me information that you know about it that's on this page. If you don't know it or are unsure, it's an NA. I don't want you to even guess, okay? And I said, because these questions are gonna come up, we might as well just answer them now so that we don't have to constantly answer them for every single buyer that's coming forward. That's what I do. So when I come back and give them a final number, I collect my data sheet. I collect my homework. Okay. It just seems to work. I don't know, Anne-Marie, do you do anything different?
No, I always make sure it's in their handwriting. So never know that.
Yep, never. And don't be there when they're filling it out, just FYI. Don't be there.
Yeah.
You'll leave.
this is-
Homework.
My homework, and this is your homework. Because we're in this together.
Yep. And I really like it if there's kids there, because then I can like, look, your mom and dad have homework just like you. So that's what I do. But anyway, I'm going to stop for comps here. Okay. I'm going to say that's perfect. Realistically, I would not stop here. I would still be comparing, believe it or not, comps. Okay. Going to update valuation and close. I just want to show you what this looks like. Okay. So my comp analysis for RPR says that this property is 603,000. I can tell you that's not accurate. All right. But I also didn't go through each one detail through detail like I typically would. But let's say for the heck of it, we're going to price it at 605. We're just going to go with it, see what happens. Okay. You don't really have to do anything else from here. If you're happy with that number, great. If not, edit it, change what you think. I'm going to say 575. Minimum, what we should be getting is 550. Maximum, 579. Okay. Save. That was my knowing the market. I'll update it and I'll explain why that is. Okay. And I just click create report. I'm doing the seller's report. I want to show you the detailed version. Run report. If you've never ran anything on RPR, what is nice is they do have a little reports functionality right up here. I feel like it didn't run though.
It'll take a while.
Yeah.
So you went to make adjustments?
Yep, I just edited it. There we go. So you'll get a notification that the report is generating right up here. When it's done, you'll get a little doorbell. Don't have your volume very loud and your dog freaking out if you have a doorbell that sounds like this, because it sounds like the doorbell. Okay. But the report will load. All right. It'll load with 84 pages. And I specifically telling you 84 pages so you know, do not take 84 pages with you. Don't do it. Okay. So you don't need all the photos of the interior of the home at that point in time. What I'll do, if I know it's going to be a tough conversation, I will print an MLS sheet out of that property in a client view format, like I showed you how to do the other day. And they'll say, well, my house is worth this amount, just like this property sold for 700,000. Yeah, that property sold for 700,000. I want you to take a look at the photos. Tell me if your updates are the same updates. People are paying for those updates. Okay. But do not load it in this, because 84 pages, honestly, is just here. It's a tree. Okay. It's a tree. And I wouldn't waste my time printing that. Yeah, I would actually go through the seller's report and minus out a lot of information. And I can't tell you what to minus out. I can only tell you what I minus out, right? And if you're not sure, again, you can view the sample, but it's as simple as going through here, like, all right, subject property summary, property values, great. Listing price, yeah. Estimated value change, yeah, you're gonna have that conversation. Comp analysis results, yeah. Comp analysis range, might not need that, okay. Home facts, we know what the home facts are. I probably don't need that. Extended home facts, I don't need the ARP living, we're here, I don't need that, okay. Property photos, I'm not going to include property photos in my RPR. I'm not going to include historical photos, okay. I'm not going to include mortgage records because I don't really care what their mortgage record is. Assessed value, yeah, I might want that to show them what things are being assessed at, okay? Sales financing, I can talk about it, but I don't need to know about it because kind of assessed value covers that for you, okay? Market activity, I'm probably going to include market activity, show them what's going on in the market. Market health charts and comparison, don't worry about it. A lot of pages you don't need. Your comps, I'm going to have a photo of my comps, okay? Selected recent market activity, just get rid of it, okay? It brings up a lot of information. Oh, I'm sorry, keep that one. You want to go to active listing, pending sales, recently sold, because this is going to pull information that you don't want. You want to stay true to the numbers you're presenting, okay? There's my little bell, okay? So let's see what it looks like. Remember, 84 pages. So 61 sailfish that pulls information right from tax records, photo, has your information. If you don't see your information, then you need to update just the profile, which I'm not going to train that. That's something you do yourself. All right. You can say estimated value. This is always a good conversation when it looks this way. Okay. Current estimated value on RVM says 42. Your comp analysis is 575. If my comp analysis are true, that's a great conversation to have. Like, listen, Joe Schmo looking on the internet thinks you're only worth 482, but because of all the comps and everything else that you actually have, your house is worth 575. The tough conversation is when these numbers are reversed, and it happens. Okay, RVM says 575. Well, that's true. It's basing off information that everything around you has sold. That's new construction, new updates, new everything else. Your house does not offer that, so we can't put it at that price point. That's a harder conversation, okay? And what I'm saying, you can run it the first time and see like, okay, I don't probably need to know extended home facts. We know I don't need historical photos. Here's the property history. It does everything for you. It breaks it down, okay? But there are some things that you're just going to be taking away from this. I like to go over what's going on in the market, what's going on with the comparison homes that I've listed for you. So you'll see those in a minute. So I like this chart that it breaks down. You can add notes under each property, why one is listed better or worse than theirs. And that affects price for you, just FYI. So there's a lot of editing you can do in here. And it does it for each property. I don't need to know all this. Again, if I know the conversation is going to be tough, then I'll be prepared for that conversation. And you will know that, okay? I don't want to, like, why am I bringing up a $5.4 million listing at a condo? I don't need that. But that's what this report will show you if you don't take it off, okay? So I just kind of like break it all down to what I needed to show. And look at how ridiculous it thinks it's worth, 1.2, and we're listed at 5. So again, RPR is not 100% accurate. You have to do the research. And honestly, majority of your research comes Paragon or in Bright. RPR just puts it together a nice presentation. Does that make sense to everyone? So really where you need to be spending time when it's CMA is in Paragon. Mapping out the location like we did last Thursday. I showed you how to create that map search. If you're like, you know what? Yes, I'm in, I don't know, Egg Harbor. But there's a specific town in Egg Harbor that I'm focusing on, or a specific, maybe a 55+ unit that I have to focus on. Map it. Don't do the zip. Just map around that specific area. Be very focused on that. That's when you get really good and really comfortable at your listings, okay? That I know this house is worth this amount in this 55+ community because this is the highest one that's sold. This is what it's sold for. This is what was updated. This was the lowest price sold. This is why it's sold for this price. Be that person. Be that person. Spend time on this. Don't rush this. When you have that listing presentation, clear it out. Make sure you're comfortable with it, that you know, all right, I'm researching this, I'm doing this. This is not a 5 or 10 minute project. If it is, you're doing something wrong, okay? You're doing something wrong. But this also is not a 24-hour. Time is of essence, right? You usually get a phone call and they want to go see it. They want you to come the same day or the next day. They got to have a sense of urgency. But it's not going to be something that it takes 5 or 10 minutes.
To get the comps, you can either do it this way by filtering out the search, or you can do it through the map
Correct. Where we mapped it out.
Either you don't have to vote.
Yep, you can do either one, okay? And you'll get to know when you have to do either one. Like, you'll know, like, certain areas of the towns, like, I have to compare truly in this neighborhood, because this neighborhood within this town is different. It is very unique to this specific area, okay? So make sure that you are understanding that, and you're looking at your numbers. That's why I think it's crucial every day that if you're not signing into Paragon, you're not in real estate, okay? That's just truthful, because you need to see what's going on in the market. You need to see what's happening and set yourself up. Like, I have set my market monitor up here so that I can look at the towns that I sell the most in. So I know what's happening in those towns at all times. You don't have to do a whole land accounting. It's a little overwhelming. Okay, but if you know, hey, I'm going to do Egg Harbor City. I'm going to do Absecon and Galloway. That's where my focus is. That's what I'm looking at. Perfect. Set it up there. Know what's happening in that market. Know what's happening active there. See what price changes are occurring. So just be that person that knows your numbers, because it's going to make you that much easier to be confident in your approach, because that's the biggest thing to overcome is your confidence and saying, this is what I see the market value of your home. Because remember, a realtor doesn't price the home, the market does. You just need to know how to read the market. Every single one of you in here have the same tools I have. You just need to know how to read the market. Questions?
So when you deal with farmland, that area like Vineland.
Lots?
Lots, would you use, still the Paragon?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, see what you can find first. And then if you can't, like if it's out of the area where it borders the Bright MLS, come in and join the, just sign on the Bright MLS here, search some lands. You can still pool addresses and put them in RPR. It doesn't matter that it's sold in a different MLS system. You can still put the address in RPR.
Yes, that's what I want.
Yep. Was this well worth it? This is one of those things that you got to take. I mean, this is why I want to do the active one where you're going to come to a condo if you want to. It's completely up to you. I think it'd be a very good idea if you can with your time, if it allows it. And I'll send communication out on that once we have a specific date and time. But you got to know where to start to look at everything. And I'll be honest with you, when you go on your first listing appointment, I will probably ask, all right, tell me the address. Because guess what I'm doing? I'm looking up the information so that when you're preparing the number, I'm seeing if you're close to the number I'm coming up with. And I'm not the expert of any areas, but I'm making sure there's something you didn't think, not that you didn't miss. Okay, so when you go on those listing appointments, don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm doing a listing presentation. Here's the address. Can you tell me what you would price it at? Okay, and I might do a quick CMA just to get an idea. And then you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. It's even better when you tell me if I'm right or wrong, especially if I'm wrong, because you can say, well, you forgot this one, this one, this one. That means you know the market. Okay. But don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't know how to price this one. This is what I'm thinking. Tell me what you think. What I'm here for. Any questions I can help you with? Did you learn something today? Yes. A lot of info, right? But here's the thing. It's 2 hours of training today, which I'm taking up during your lead genning time. So how do you go back and apply it to get some business? Okay. So hopefully now you can at least be like, all right, we kind of have to go into Paragon. I might not remember fully what to do, but I know I need to at least sign into Paragon to build a CMA to get my comps. Great. Go through the other steps if need be, but you at least know the starting point compared to not going through any of this before. Okay. And I know some of this Christine covers, and it's just kind of reiterating some of it, but it's nice to hear it again too. Questions about anything that we've learned so far? I think I have what, 10 minutes? Oh no, 7.
So we basically just play around with it.
Play around with it. Do a CMA of your own house. Talking about, if you want to be personal, comp out your own house. See what your house would sell for. Or if you don't have a house, you rent a place, comp out a family member's house, see what it would sell for. This is that whole thing when I love when people are like, oh, ask for a free complimentary CMA. Who knows what a CMA is besides people that are in real estate? Like people like, oh yeah, don't use the word CMA. Hey, do you want a free evaluation of what your home's worth? They'll understand that better than a competitive market analysis. They're not gonna know that. What's CMA stand for? But this is some great things that you can do to offer families and friends. Hey, this is what I'm offering. This is what I'm doing. Do you want one? And the best thing is, the whole point of doing it for family and friends, they refer you to someone that's looking for it. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you again, I have won listings, and I wasn't the highest listing amount either. Like I won one listing that he blatantly said, you're getting this listing because you're the only one that explained to me what you're going to do. And I wasn't the highest price. He said I had someone else who was the top agent, Ann Brigg. She is the top agent. I won the listing presentation over her. And she called me up and, what did you do to get that listing? Present the information, what I was going to do. Okay. So don't be afraid to be confident in your listing presentation and your CMA that you're going to create. Okay. Notice how I say they're two different things. I want to make sure I emphasize that because they are.
So your client can go shopping for the best listing price.
Oh, your client's
as well,
going
right?
to.
So.
Your client is going to. And the first thing that, if I know they've shopped different agents, thank you for allowing me to interview with you today. You're doing the right thing by finding the right agent to sell your property. I thank him for doing it. And have I lost out on other listings? Yes. Have some people gone with people that have a higher listing price? Yes. That's okay. I learned from it. I actually call them back and say, hey, listen, congratulations on listing the property. Is there anything I need to do that I need to do next time to educate any potential clients? Most of them are, oh no, you did a fantastic job. It's just they were giving me a higher price than you. Okay, that's fine. It feels good though when you say what a house is going to sell for and they list it at high and guess what it sells. That feels really good. And then if you're really good at it, you wait till it expires. And you send that, hey, I know we met a couple months ago. I see your house didn't sell. I'm so sorry. If you want me to come out again and discuss the points that I can sell your property for at the market value, please let me know.
So you have went back and for a client who didn't pick you.
Didn't pick me. It expired. Went back. Did we get the listing? We got the listing. We listed even lower than what I said I would listed the first time.
Well, now
Because
they're like,
it's tarnished, right? It's been sitting and something's wrong with it. It's not going to move.
So if they listed it with somebody else, when that person, they just relist it,
Why would you relist with someone that can't sell your house?
but they're not committed to that person?
Not once it expires. After their contractual date of probably 60 days of what's in the contract, you can relist.
If they sign it.
So they got to sign it to be able to list. Yeah, they might even fire people during the whole thing too. Like, you're not selling my house, and they have to do a whole release from contract and everything else. So that does happen.
And that will not be, you stealing the client.
You can't approach the client while it's for sale.
Only your clients.
Yep, you cannot approach it. And that's why it's always good to have a disclaimer on any type of communication you send out via text, via pamphlet, via postcard. This is not intended to be a form of solicitation if you're already currently working with another realtor.
Right.
That should be put on every email or.
Just add it as a tag. Saves you a headache.
What you're saying was?
It's something on the verge. If you're currently working with another realtor, this is not a form of solicitation of business. So I usually add it to each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. The next sentence is that.
Even if it expired, like you said, it expired.
I still send it because they might sign a contract that you're not aware about. So just protect yourself. CYA, cover your assets. Any other questions? Once.
overwhelming.
Going twice. All right,
Thank you.
tomorrow, we're gonna touch about contacts, and then we're gonna go over paperwork. All right, we're not gonna go over details of how to fill out a listing paperwork and buyer a contract. We're gonna touch upon it. We're gonna go what we fill out. But the contract classes are taught by Rosalie. She is our broker of record, so she teaches that. I'm gonna go over what should be in the documents, what you should do, what you should ask yourself when you're actually doing a contract to sale or a listing paperwork. Okay, so we're gonna spend some time on that. And hopefully that'll get us to the next steps, which be DocuSign, which we're all going to be comfortable with. We're going to be experts at it. All right. Yep. And I think today Christine has a training on DocuSign at 1. Feel free to jump on because there is never enough training on DocuSign because it always updates. Never enough. Okay. So please, 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 don't be afraid to join those. Okay. But oh, Donna, woohoo, we'll talk. That's all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Thank you.